What's down, fam? It's your boy Slim South 504. Make sure y'all subscribe to Hoodie Jew. You heard me? Let's go.
What's up, folks? This is Shano Barnes, and you already know this shit more than a game, man. You also already know that it's NOLA versus all y'all. And you also know that it ain't YouTube if you ain't subscribed to my dog, Hoodie Jew. Come on, man, what are you waiting for? You already know. It's still Who Dat?
What up, family? This your boy The Right, repping that Who Dat Nation all the way here in Florida. If it's YouTube, you gotta subscribe to my boy Hoodie Jew.
What's up, world? It's your boy Carlos Clayton. I'm the host of Uneducated Sports Talk. Subscribe to the big homie Hoodie Jew for everything New Orleans Saints. Who Dat?
Hey, this your boy, Dog 17, the host of the Keeping It Real Who Dat Sports Podcast. Just want to remind y'all, go ahead and subscribe to my homie Hoodie Jew's channel. And like always, love.
What's good, guys? My name is Zach.
And I'm Nonfiction, and we are Real Fan Sports.
And you need to stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button and subscribe to your boy, Hoodie Jew.
Hoodie Jew.
What's good? Who Dat Nation, man? We got a lot to talk about. I know we talked a little bit about everything earlier, but now we got the Dane legend in the building. Our guy Logan, a.k.a. Showman, a.k.a. just a damn reporter off of Twitter/X, man. Now we're going to get his side and his point of view on everything. You know, we're going to be talking about the Tyrann Mathieu retirement again, about basically Dallin Holker getting waived / retiring as well. And we're going to talk about the jerseys that we didn't really talk about earlier on the first show. So make sure you grab a drink. Make sure you grab something to eat. Make sure you relax and sit back. And let's talk some Saints football, baby.
We in the zone, watch the Saints rise. Kellen Moore's game plan, yes, no surprise. Rashid Shaheed flying, catching that light. Chris Lawrence magic, making defenses right. Hoodie Jew on the screen, we hype it up. Saints Nation stand tall, never gonna give up. Saints on a mission, watch them take flight. In the dome under lights, it's a beautiful night. Championship dreams, we're ready to score. With Hoodie Jew and the crew, we're wanting more. Demario Davis bringing a tackle heat. Cam Jordan rushing, can't escape defeat. Tyrann Mathieu lurking, he's a defensive ghost. New era in New Orleans, yeah, we want it the most. Touchdowns on the board, the crowd goes wild. Feel the energy surge like a hyped up child. Saints on a mission, watch them take flight. In the dome under lights, it's a beautiful night. Championship dreams, we're ready to score. With Hoodie Jew and the crew, we're wanting more. The victory blow. Back coast, we pop with the city.
Alrighty, Who Dat Nation, man. It's time to bring on the one and only co-host of this Hoodie Jew blog podcast. He is the myth, the legends of writing articles, the reporter. He can do anything in the sports industry. He can even play linebacker if we need him to. Yeah, that's right. He's a future Hall of Famer in high school, man. Used to be the All-American team, bro. This man is a legend. Y'all should know him by the Soul Man, or just know him because he's a damn Saints LSU, Pelicans, Tulane, Southeastern, whatever the heck you want in Louisiana sports, he is going to cover it for you. Come on, you should know him. My guy, Logan. What up, brother?
Why you gotta lie to the people, man? I was definitely not an All-American at all in high school.
My bad. I was trying to hype you up.
No, I get that. Thank you. I did play a lot in semi-pro, though. I was that good to play semi-pro, so good enough.
Good enough. So, man, we might as well just talk about it right now, man. And just a shocker that everybody seen today. And that's no other than Mr. Tyrann Mathieu retiring from the NFL, man. So, everybody heard Hoodie Jew start of it. You know, future Hall of Famer. I think he's going to be future Hall of Famer. Great dude, you know. Louisiana man, you know, went to St. Aug, went on to LSU, and then went on to play into the NFL and got to play for the Saints and retire as a Saints as well. That's just anybody's dreams, to be honest with you, that are playing, you know, football in Louisiana growing up, you know. And that's like their dream, to be able to play for all of those teams, you know. Especially LSU and Saints, right, and represent your home. So, Logan, when you seen this post today and says Tyrann Mathieu retired, was you expected him to retire this year? And, you know, what was your reaction?
So, my initial reaction was just like everybody's. I was pretty shocked because I didn't see it coming because it's the first day of training camp. Well, practices start tomorrow, but first day everyone's arriving. I didn't hear a single whisper of Tyrann retiring, but it was noted through the grapevine, through a lot of people I've talked to. He does have a newborn baby, so he's got baby number 2 or baby number 4. I can't remember how many he has actually. So I'm thinking Tyrann's thoughts was, okay, do I want to go through another season or do I want to just go be a full-time dad now? And I think that was the thought in his head where, okay, if I want to be a full-time dad, I can't go get my body all beat up again for another year. But it was just a shocker to me. But the one thing I can say is I'm glad I got to see him play for the New Orleans Saints these last 3 years, and I'm happy I got to see him play every single down when he was at LSU, playing with people like Patrick Peterson, Brandon Taylor, and Mo Claypool, Eric Reed, all of them guys. Truly underrated secondary in college football history. But yeah, it was a complete shocker. But honestly, I was talking with a few people, and I think we're going to be okay in the safe. Now, we probably will have to go out there and sign somebody, of course, but I think we're going to be okay. I mean, we're not going to the Super Bowl this year or NFC Championship or anything. There's going to be some growing pains, of course, with this new regime and team that's being assembled. But yeah, all in all, tremendous career for Tyrann. And it's like you mentioned, he got to live out a lot of Louisiana kids' dreams. I mean, I know I had the dreams of doing it, and maybe not playing for St. Aug, but, you know, Tyrann got to play for St. Aug, get to play for LSU, gets drafted into the NFL, gets to go win a Super Bowl, then plays for the hometown team, gets to come home and put on the black and gold uniform. So he got to do it all. There was not really much else he has to prove, and I think he's going to be in Canton one day, too.
Oh, for sure, man. And shout out to, you know, Tyrann Mathieu, man, being able to do that, live a, you know, Louisiana kid's dream, you know, who loves football, being able to do all of that. And you know what? I mean, I really want to give him a bigger shout out because I didn't really talk about it as much on the first podcast earlier. I want to give him a big shout out on changing his life around because of being in trouble a lot at LSU, getting drafted, you know, was kind of being in trouble, you know, where he was, and then was to be able to come into the league and start working with Patrick Peterson when he got to the Cardinals. That's when he really changed his life around because Patrick Peterson, you know, told him a different type of, you know, showed him a different way to be and helped him, you know, become the man that he is today. And just shout out to him to be able to change his life around because some people that are like that, like that's in his lifestyle, and like he said, it's hard to come out of it, and some people bring that into the NFL and they wind up not making it long. because of those things. But him making it 12, 13 seasons in the NFL because of him able to change his lifestyle around. And shout out to Patrick Peterson for even helping him, as a brother, teammate from LSU, for helping him do that, and look where he's at now, was able to live out his dreams and do what he wanted to do. So shout out to him for that. And shout out to him for having his, next child that just recently came. So shout out to Tyrann, man. And whenever you're ready, man, there's a lot of rumors that I've seen on Twitter ever since he retired. People saying hashtag next head coach for LSU. They can see him being a coach at LSU, because he loves the Tigers, right? So maybe we can see him as a DB coach sometime, maybe to begin with, and then maybe move his way up to like a coaching, a full-time head coach or something. We can see it, a lot. It seems like to me, Logan, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like a lot of old football players, once they retire for a few years and kind of just relax, enjoy their life, and then it seems like they get back into the football life as a coach somewhere. Whether they a head coach at a small high school, then they move up to the college leagues, and it seems like they keep moving up. So is that something that we're going to continue to see with older people? Like, could we see Drew Brees eventually after retiring after a couple of years, maybe move into the coaching staffs and stuff like that? Because that's what it seems like is the way it's going. That's like the movement right now.
So, I can't speak personally, but I can say, for instance, like you see it all over. Some of these former players that are retiring have the ability to coach and that they want to. Some, once they're done, they don't want nothing to do with it at all. Like you see, Eli and Peyton Manning, they're doing their thing. They're in the community. I mean, they're around it. They still do their man and passing academy camp in Thibodeau and Nichols. But I mean, they're not coaches. They just do that. And like Drew Brees, like he did that one game for Purdue, filling in as an interim quarterbacks coach when they played against LSU, and LSU absolutely shellacked them. But said he has no interest in being a coach, and everyone's always questioning why. Now, the one thing I can speak to is whenever you're done, it's like you don't really have that. You still have that competitive edge, but it's just like you want to be around it in a way, but you don't want to make it seem like it's like a 4 a.m. to like a 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. type of job. So like some people have that in them. Like Deion Sanders is a perfect example. I mean, the ultimate competitor. He coached at every level, like middle school, junior high, high school, now college. He's not going to the NFL, but some people have it in them. Some people want to do it. Some people also get burnt out. I've had teammates that I've known who I have actually played longer than, which I couldn't believe. I mean, I remember one time playing a video game on my Xbox with all my former teammates. This is years ago, like when I was in college. He had a full ride scholarship to a school in Mississippi. He was one of the best football players I ever played with in my life. And he told me, just one day I woke up, packed up my things, left college, didn't want to play football no more, didn't want to go to class. I just was done. Burnt out. Some people just get burnt out, and it's fine. Some people have it in them, some people don't, and that's fine. Tyrann, he might find his way back to LSU or something to that effect. Maybe
St. Aug.
Maybe I was about to bring that up. Maybe St. Aug. I mean, high school was a lot more, I would say, a lot less work, coaching-wise, I guess, than college. Like toll-wise, because when you're a college football coach, it's like you're there at 4 a.m., you're leaving probably like at 2 a.m., and then you're back there at 4 a.m. again. Like with high school football, you're probably there at 6 a.m., and then you're probably leaving at 11 o'clock at night, going home to your family. So it's all if these people want to do it. Now, I mean, I know I've had a little bit of desire to dip my toe in the coaching waters, but I haven't done that yet. But it's all about, some people have it in them to do it, some people don't, and that's fine.
Tim Dunn, I wanted to answer his question. Said, do y'all think him being third string at OTAs has something to do with this? I don't know who you're talking about, because we're talking about Tyrann Mathieu right now, and Tyrann Mathieu ain't no damn third string. Yeah, on no field. So I'm kind of lost. I don't know. Maybe he thinks we're talking about Dallin Holker, but
maybe so. Maybe.
But we haven't gotten to him yet. We'll talk about him next. Well, not next, because there was something else I really wanted to talk about because I didn't cover it last podcast. I wanted to ask you this. So I woke up kind of late, and I woke up to this post. Saints added new gold uniform, man. The ones that I've been waiting for, and I'm so excited. I'm like, I can't wait, bro. I'm so happy. I can't believe I woke up late, seeing this. And then 20, 30 minutes later, Tyrann Mathieu retired. I'm like, what the fudge? Really? I wake up happy and I wake up sad now. Let me just go back to sleep now.
It's been a whirlwind of good and bad news the last few days. I'll say that.
Yeah, a roller coaster ride, I guess. But I wanted to know, what is your thoughts on these, uniforms with the gold? Like, it looks lighter than the old ones, huh?
Well, yeah. So the ones from 2002. That they only wore once, week 15 against the Vikings. We lost by 1 point. But, yeah, the ones from 2002 seemed a little darker. Jerry has the one from Joe Johnson, like in 2002, so I'm sure he can compare and contrast that. But the one quarrel that I have with this is I love it. I really do. The black helmet goes perfect with it. Always said that if they're going to do an inverse uniform, have the black helmet, and this is a perfect use of the black helmet instead of wearing it with the color rush, which was absolutely awful. But it's more khaki than it is gold, and the one thing, I mean, they're on the right track. They really are with the uniforms. The one thing I can only hope for is they go away from khaki eventually and just get back to old, like, or OG gold, like from
a dog gold.
Yeah, like the 1967 gold, the 19.
What about the gold that's on the jerseys for like the color rush?
That's actually, so the color rush that they wear, the jersey that they wear for color rush, is literally, I'm not even kidding. If you go look at the photo that you see, like of Jim Taylor and Tom Fears from 1967 on that Sports Illustrated cover photo, that's literally the color rush uniforms that they're wearing. It's the original away uniform. So that's the one thing I can say. I love these uniforms that they're doing. We haven't seen these since 2002, basically on the field, but they've been selling them like crazy in the team stores since then. But I mean, I love this combination. I really do. But the only thing I can honestly say is, please go back to a darker gold. Like, if you're gonna do a gold and you don't want to do the throwbacks from the 60s or 70s, Vanderbilt's gold that they wear. If you go look at Vanderbilt, they have a gold helmet that they wear, and I honestly think that's the perfect shade of gold that the Saints could use. It's either that or go back to the original uniforms. Now, the only thing about bringing these uniforms in, like, the gold uniforms, is the throwbacks can't be worn this year due to a rule for uniforms. So my only hope is that maybe in 2026 they'll make the throwbacks the permanent uniforms again, and then make the color rush the permanent away uniforms, but with the throwback helmet, because it's needed.
So Tim Dunn said, I heard Tyrann wasn't starting in OTAs. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe he wasn't starting because he was retiring, and there was just something we didn't know about at the time. That maybe that's why he wasn't at camp as much. Maybe that's why he wasn't starting, because he was on his road to being out the door or something, maybe.
Now, I didn't hear nothing about this at OTAs, nothing. I think there was photos and footage of Tyrann at OTAs. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't hear a whisper of this at all. This news kind of took me and everyone by surprise, but apparently Mickey and Kellen said they've known for a few days. They didn't say a few weeks or a few months. They said a few days. If I'm quoting him correctly in the press conferences that I just watched, I will have to go back and make sure I'm correct, but they've only known about this for a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks. Let's just say a couple of weeks they've known about this instead of a few days. OTAs has been over with since, I think, June, but I don't think Tyrann was a third string at all. I think Tyrann, last I heard, was he was getting all the starter reps. That was the plan, was to have him and Justin Reed as our safeties this year. So this kind of
throws that around.
Kind of puts a damper on things a little bit, and you have to, make some changes, go shift in a new direction now.
Yeah, speaking of that, that gives people an opportunity, like Jordan Howden to step up, or Jonas Senker to step up, right? But we was talking about this earlier. Me and Hurricane Mike was talking because he came on for a little bit and talked with me, and somebody in the chat posted, they said maybe this is the chance to finally go and sign Justin Simmons because he's still out there. Remember, we was going to sign him last year, but he wound up going to the Atlanta Falcons, and now they talking about him. There's rumors of him possibly signing with the Panthers. I mean, would you bring in a guy like him, or do you think he's just too washed now?
I'm not saying he's washed, but I mean, does he fit? That's the thing. Does he fit? It just didn't seem like, he fit well with the Falcons last year. And now I wanted him on the Saints last year, but it's just, does it fit the timeline? Because if you think about it, you can move Justin Reed to free safety. You can have your rookie Jonas Sanker get starting reps at strong safety this year, or you can put Jordan Howden back there. That would be fine with me, but if you want a veteran, I guess Justin Simmons wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's just, you have to look. How much is it going to cost? Is it going to be a damper in your cap? But it's all about fit. Does Justin Simmons fit what Brandon Staley wants to do? If not, if Brandon Staley says, oh, let's go bring him in, I'm all for it. But if Brandon Staley doesn't feel that he needs Justin Simmons, then maybe we don't.
Now, I wouldn't mind Justin Simmons. I mean, just think of this lineup. You ready? This naming safeties and cornerback lineups, right? So imagine a Justin Reed in the backfield with Justin Simmons, your two safeties, and then you go out there and you sign Asante Samuel as well. Once he's healthy, you can bring him in, and you got him and Kool-Aid as your outside and Alante and your nickel. So you got Alante Taylor, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Asante Samuel, Justin Simmons, and Justin Reed. That would not be a bad DB room right there. That would be a pretty solid DB room. I wouldn't know what I would rank them amongst other people's, DB rooms, but I think it would be a solid DB room to have. And then also, me and Hurricane Mike earlier was talking about Sanker, he's been able to get an opportunity now, knowing that Tyrann Mathieu retired, right? And me and him was talking about it. Maybe I seen it, maybe you don't see it. Maybe you can agree partially with me. But I think Sanker kind of reminds me of a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, just without the big attitude, all that. He's just a certified tackler, he's got that closing speed, that can close you off and get the tackles, if you need a blitz in the backfield, he can, rush back there and get the sack. He can, on the run, close out that gap that's about to be open, he can close in and tackle, and if you need a run, he's got that speed to catch up to try to close off the pass, and I think he kind of reminds me a little bit of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, just without the attitude part, and the energy like that. So, I mean, maybe I see that, maybe I'm tripping. What you think about that, of, him possibly being maybe a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, which we haven't had in a while?
So, for Jonas Sanker, I don't see a C.J. Gardner-Johnson for his comp now. I was able to actually find what I had pegged as his comp in my draft guide. I said Jimmy Ward, who plays for the San Francisco 49ers. But someone in the chat the other day made another great comparison, was Jamal Adams. So if he's a combination of, Jamal Adams and Jimmy Ward, then that's really solid, because Jamal Adams has been a very solid safety for a few, years now. So I think Sanker is going to be. He's not going to be a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but I think he can be a Jamal Adams or a Jimmy Ward type of safety.
Jimmy Ward or something. Okay, gotcha. I was just thinking of comparisons, maybe not like attitude-wise, but like tackling-wise, how they just both don't miss tackles and they both just got that closing speed. That's what I was thinking of with him. But, as you're naming Jamal Adams and all that now, that kind of makes sense now too, because, he does have kind of like the play style as Adam. Shout out to Real Fan Sport. He said, "What's y'all thoughts on the Saints being ranked the 32nd roster?" Well, they can rank us the 32nd roster. That's totally fine with me. But we got a lot better roster than some of these other people, because I think the reason why they trying to say it, because we don't have that many big name people. We got people like Demario Davis, Aaron McCoy, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. You got like Tyrann Mathieu, but he's gone. Justin Reed. Those were your big name people. But other than that, we have a lot of good rotational players too. That people don't understand. And then also we have a younger team too. Like Fuaga did great for a rookie last year. We just need him to take that second year jump and continue that, right? Kevin Banks, first round pick. We don't know what he's going to be out, but a lot of people saying he's going to be great. Erin McCoy, you know who he is, right? We don't know what Trevor Penn is, going to do in the guard spot. We got to see if he does good with the guard spot. There's so many different things, but at the end of the day, I feel like our roster is way better than a Titans roster. To be honest with you, I think our roster. To be honest with you, do you think what's their names? I don't think people like if I start naming teams, these are teams that I don't even think have a better roster than the Saints. Right? I don't think the Titans have a better roster. I still don't think the Panthers have a better roster. I still don't think the teams like the Cardinals even have that better of a roster. They got some good players in better positions that we need, but they still all around. I don't feel like they have a better team than us. Who's some other teams? Other than the Steelers' defense, their offense don't scare me, so I don't feel like their roster is the best either. Name some other rosters around here that you think that's not as better than the Saints.
So, the one thing I can say, well, for whatever reason, my microphone ain't working, but that's lovely. So
I can hear you, though.
So I guess I'm using my tablet microphone. Apologize, everybody. But, so, I can honestly say this. Last year, I think they had, the Commanders. I hate to use them as an example because I think there was an anomaly and different, but Commanders is the best example I can do. Last year, they had the Commanders, I think, having the worst roster. Now, they had Superman Jaden Daniels as their quarterback. I get that. They had Dan Quinn as their head coach. They had a well-put team together. And they still had them ranked at the very, very bottom, even below the Panthers, I believe. They went to the NFC Championship. Now, granted, like I said, that's on the back of, Jane Daniels, of course, mostly, but I don't pay too much attention to rankings at all because in the end, it's not about, and this is me, someone who was in the media saying this, it's not about what the media says. It's about what happens on the field when the bullets are flying live. What you see on paper doesn't. What goes on in between those on the turf or the grass, wherever, that's the only thing that really matters. So these rankings, they never get it right. They never do.
Yeah. Other teams I'm thinking of now, Browns. I don't think their roster is better than us. Giants. Don't think theirs is better. There's so many different teams that are out there that people are thinking are better than the Saints. And I guess that's why they're giving us 2-15 records, which is totally fine to me because at the end of the day, Logan, you know this. Who That Nation knows this. We all know this. At the end of the damn day, what happens when the Saints are underdogs and are underestimated and everybody thinks we ain't doing this and that? What happens? We always turn out to beating people and turning heads and all of that. And the one thing, too, is, and this is just me, Logan, I want to ask you this. How are people able to, I guess you can say this, how are they able to say that we're going to be worse than we were last year when we got a better coaching staff, a better roster, the roster's healthy this season compared to last season, and it's a better coaching staff and all, and we got, a better chance because we don't have all these injured people trying to come on the field and play and trying to, save a season, and we still won 5 games with how terrible everything was last year, and they think we're going to be worse than that, which is crazy.
So, the one thing I can compare it to, I hate comparing it to teams of old, but I think I've said it on your show once upon a time that, this is very reminiscent of, turning the chapter from going from Mike Dicker to Jim Haslett. So, Mike Dicker's last year, we went 3-13, 4 different quarterbacks, absolutely awful. I was 3 years old when that happened, by the way. And then, Jim Haslett comes in, year 2000. No primetime games, no nothing. We have a quarterback competition with Jeff Blake, Aaron Brooks. No one thinks nothing of this team, thinks the team was not going to be any good. The team starts off 8-4. Jeff Blake gets hurt against the Raiders, breaks his leg, and then they think the season's going in the tank because we lost Jeff Blake. And then next we go 10-6, beat the Rams in the playoffs, and that was that. They didn't think the Saints was going to be anything. I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but they've been underdogs before.
And they did the same shit. Yeah. They did the same shit to Sean Payton when he first came in. Remember, everything was going to be a shithole. They don't think nothing was going to happen. Can they turn around? Hurricane season just happened. This team ain't going to be able to do nothing, and we changed it around. So to me, it's feeling like one of those seasons again, where one of these guys comes in, and the reason, and it's not just because, oh well, I feel like Kellen Moore's going to be that guy. You know why I feel that energy from Kellen Moore? It's because it's the way the organization has been since he got here. Since he's got here. Though this dude's participating in freaking comedy scenes, you know, to bring local, you know, comedy people in here, and people participating and going along with it. He's bringing his people to play paintball, freaking play Top Golf, you know, doing all these different things. And they having fun. When was the last time you seen a damn Chris Olave picture smiling in the background? Dude smiling his ass off and says he can't wait to be here. Like, he loves the way it is. And guess what? I think what it is, it's Kellen's more impact. He's young. He's nice. But guess what? They also, like Alante Taylor said in his interview, yeah, I thought he was going to be like one of those guys that you wanted to just be friends with and all that. You know, he's younger, you know, kind of, you know, closer to our age and all that. One of the youngest coaches in the NFL. But yeah, he said they got that aggressive side too. And he said, I really like that about him. So it just shows you what kind of impact Kellen Moore's already making before the season starts, which is making me feel like it's going to be one of those Sean Payton's, you know, Jim Haslett type of seasons where everybody's underestimates, everybody don't think it's going to be nothing, but we just start turning heads because of what the knowledge of Kellen Moore brings to those players, and he's going to put those in the best position to win. Because like we said earlier, he won with some quarterback that you were like, okay, yeah, they ain't winning this game. There's no way we thought the Eagles was going to win with Kenny Pickett back there because of how bad Kenny Pickett's been playing. But he won. Oh, yeah, once Dak Prescott went down, they ain't about to win a game with Cooper Rush. But guess what? Kellen Moore won a game with Cooper Rush. You know what I'm saying? He won games with these quarterbacks that don't seem like you was going to win. And who was a person that always says, oh, we ain't going to win this game because of a quarterback, but we wound up winning with him? Sean Payton. And I just want to say, I'm just getting those vibes from Kellen Moore right now with this how all the positive energy and everything's falling into place. So I would not be shocked if the Saints have a great season this year and somehow make the playoffs. But if we don't make the playoffs, then we understand because we in kind of like that rebuild mode finally. We gave a coach and we told him, you don't have this 1 year, you got multiple years to get ready and get your stuff together, you know, because he knows what kind of, you know, thing we're going into. You're coming into a team that has, you know, people that's going to be retiring soon, which one already did. Tyrann Mathieu, he already did. So now you got two left, Cam Jordan and DeMario David. Those are your last two people that are like the older people. And then next thing you know, we got a lot more younger people. And the only other, veterans that's on the team or people like Godchalk, you know, Justin Reed, you know, Colin Saunders, you know. Other than that, and Nathan Separate, but and then on the offensive side, your big veteran guys that's been there. It's Reese, he ain't that old though. Erin McCoy, not really old. And you think the tight end room, the oldest veteran guy is Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau. Everybody else is still young. So when people think that we are an old Asian roster that can't do this, that can't do that, they haven't been doing their research and they haven't seen that the Saints been rebuilding quietly over these years. And the crazy part is, Logan, next year and the following year, we're about to have some freaking cap space out the butt, and we're going to be able to start rebuilding with some free agency people that we need to get, you know. And just don't want to get everybody's hopes up, but I do want to say is there's two guys out there that ain't happy right now with their teams not doing it. Matter of fact, there's three people out there that they're not happy with. Two of them I would love to add to our defensive side, Trey Henderson and Michael Parsons. They both not happy with their contracts. If y'all don't want to pay y'all boys, hey, we about to have some money next year. We'll take them.
Now, I think we would have to give up a lot to get them. I mean, I would absolutely love to have either one of them on the team. I would love to have Trey back, but I think that's the only way the Saints get Michael Parsons and Trey Henderson is on Madden.
Hey, but we talked about the jersey, right? We talked about Tyrann Mathieu retiring. But guess what? This is something that happened while I was on live with my boy, Hurricane Mike. This pops up. The Saints waived Dallin Holker. I'm like, what the f-? And, you know, I'm not going to say the F word because, you know, I'm a Christian. I can't be trying to say these. I'm trying to say less curse words as I can. But damn, you know, this happens, and I'm like pissed. I'm like, and I tell, y'all ain't gonna believe this. And Hurricane Mike's like, what? Really? And we started talking about it, right? I sent it to you. You like, what the heck? Why the heck would they do this? All of that, right? And then about 20 minutes before the show starts, I get this on here. And they posted it. This is Dallin Holker's thing. He said, I can't thank God enough for the opportunity to live out my dream. I'm incredibly grateful for my amazing wife and family. Your love and support have meant everything throughout this journey. After a lot of prayer and conversation with my family and representatives, I've decided to retire from football. I want to thank the New Orleans Saints, Colorado State, BYU, and Lee High School for believing in me and giving me the chance to chase a dream I've had since I was a kid. Over the past 15 years, football has given me unforgettable memories and lifelong relationship with teammates and coaches, things I always hold close. Football will always be a part of me, but I'm excited to see what the next chapter holds. So now it makes sense why he got waived. He was retiring anyway, so there was no point of having him on the roster, so they waived him.
Right, it's kind of like what they're going to put him on the waived, the retired list, kind of like how they did with Tyrann, kind of how they did with, I think, Jimmy once upon a time. So that's 3 retirements in one day, and it's only day 1 of training camp, and practice doesn't start until tomorrow. So it's very shocking, but like I said, some people get burnt out. Some people, from what I was hearing, someone told me that they don't think his ankle is healing properly, and maybe they just want to go through rehab again. I totally understand that rehab sucks, but it's quite shocking to say the least. Now, I would have loved to have seen Holker get reps, because I really had high hopes for him, and I really had high belief in him. But now, I mean, you mentioned Noah Fant the other day, and if they wanted to go after Noah Fant, I wouldn't be mad at it. But now here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen. I think it's Aaron Schmidt or Aaron Smith. I can't remember the insider's name. Might be Aaron Wilson. I think it's Aaron. Whatever, his name's Aaron. Mentioned that the Buccaneers worked out Noah Fant today, so there's that. So other than that, the Saints did draft a tight end out of UCLA that I think that they like a lot. So if you want Fant, because like I said, you better hope the Bucs don't like him, because like I mentioned, he worked out for the Bucs, and we know how things like that work out for us. People signing with the rivals, but you know, I think Juwan Johnson can hold it down. I don't know. Foster starting training camp off on the PUP list along with Taysom. Other than that, you have Juwan, you have Seth Green, not the voice actor, but an actual tight end from the UFL. Then you have Jack Stoll, who came over from the Eagles. Maliki Matavo. I mean, not the sexiest tight end room, but it's good enough to go to the prom with or to homecoming dance with, I'll say that.
Good enough to do those things, huh?
I mean, it'll get the job done. I mean, it'll get you to where you need to be. Like I said, it's not the sexiest tight end room, but good enough to take the homecoming dance and out to eat. Not even trying to be, just trying to be funny a little bit, but I mean, that's the only way I can put it. But if now you have a chance to go get Noah Fant if you really want him, or if you really think you have a need at tight end.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, we'll see what we're going to do. But I didn't hear about the Buccaneers working them out. I didn't hear about Noah Fant doing that, but we'll see. Real Fan Sports said, like, what did y'all think a rebuild was going to look like? Hey, ask people. I mean, most people think of like most people when you think of a rebuild, you know, you think of tearing out the whole coaching staff, you bring in some new coaching staff, and then they just start, you know, trading your good aspects, like your older veterans, for picks, and, you know, getting rid of those good players just so they can get, you know, better draft capital for the following years and all that. And then in the first year, you're playing with, you know, crappy people just to start rebuilding. You know, that's what you hear about a lot of rebuilds. But we've been, like, quietly rebuilding, you know, the last few years. You know, because we've been drafting really well. You know, drafted Pete Warner a couple of years ago. You know, you drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry last year. You drafted Alante Taylor a couple of years ago. You drafted a guy, what's his name? Danny Stutman this year. You drafted guys like Brian Brissy. You drafted guys like, well, you didn't draft them. You drafted Chris Olave, but you didn't draft Rasheed Shaheed. He was an undrafted free agent. You drafted people like Pennon. You drafted people like Fuaga, Banks, McCoy, Ruiz. You were slowly rebuilding, but not rebuilding, if you know what I mean. You was kind of like half and half. That's what we was basically doing the last few years, and we finally sitting down rebuilding because where I think this is where the rebuild started with Kellen Moore? This is like your first season because we're not going after no veteran quarterbacks. We're literally just taking all these young quarterbacks and letting them just fight it out, and whoever wins, wins. And that's what I like about it. We're finally going to have young quarterback play. A young team playing, basically. A lot of young players. Because there ain't that many old people on the roster when you think about it. DeMario Davis and Ken Jordan's probably your two oldest people. Because Tyrann Mathieu's gone now. He retired. That's just two oldest people on the roster that's going to be basically playing. Everybody else is younger. So, Jatavius Nathan says, Saints won't be bad as people think if the Saints ending be good in 2025. Watch people start saying the Saints starting off good this year. Keep that same energy saying we might be bad. Fans said, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I don't pay too much attention. Now I do things because, being media adjacent at the moment, but that's how the media works. They have to talk about something. Some things have to be clickbait. Some things have to be like headlines. Like, you have to have some sort of headline. You have to get people to want to watch or click on something. That's the nature of the beast in the business, and I hate saying it like that, but that's how the media broadcast world works. It really does. So that's why when I see them having the Saints ranked 32nd worst team in the NFL, or the Saints are going to pick Arch Manning first overall in 2026, which is not happening. There's so many stories, headlines. It's just unbelievable, but I get it. I should know better or be more aware of it since I was in that water for a while. So I wouldn't think too much into it. Wouldn't even give it the time of day. Just let my media colleagues tweet out and report what they need to. They have a job to do. Respect it. It's just, it ain't really news because, like I said, I don't think the Saints are the worst team in the league, and I think we're going to be okay.
No, I'm there with you too, man. Like, I don't, feel like we're going to be the worst team, but the funny thing is, this is the funny thing. People want to talk so much shit and say we're going to be the worst team. They got this, and that, blah, 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 blah. Why y'all talking about us then? We shouldn't be even talked about if we're that bad. Yeah, don't even worry about us. Don't even say our names. If we're that bad, we shouldn't be talked about on your podcast. If we're that bad. But I think y'all are worried about us because y'all see us getting better. Y'all see us getting a head coach that looks like he knows what he's doing. That's finally getting an opportunity. That just won a Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator. I think y'all seeing some stuff, and I think they scared because they realize we don't have old Carr anymore. We got young bucks that can run out the pocket now. We getting healthy. He's coming back. Chris Olave's coming back. We getting better, and I think that's what people are seeing, and they just want to act like it just to use it as a clickbait just to try to say something.
Yeah, there's times where you have to do a job. Everyone has to make a living. I totally get it. There was times, I can remember going back to college, I was working for the television station on campus. I had to do a news story. I gave 3 different topics to my boss that I worked for there, and the most boringest one that I gave him, he wanted me to do the story on, and I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, there's these 2 fun stories that people would love to hear about, but you want me to do the boring one about a traffic circle. So, like I said, it's the nature of the business. People have a job to do. It ain't like the days of Stuart Scott and people like Chris Berman's of the world. So many people that I grew up watching. It ain't those days anymore. It's all about what can get the clicks, what is the best headlines, what gets the views. That's basically how the media business is. So it is what it is. Like I said, they have a job to do, and that's fine.
And no, it's crazy though, like how the media, real turned into, how they basically, you gotta do this to get clickbaits, to get people to do it and all that, instead of actually getting views because you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, instead of there can be people making a lot of money by just clickbaiting and making you rage bait, and they do that for a living. They just happy to do it to piss you off, just to get you in there to get paid. Like, people get mad on TikTok because of a post somebody puts, but don't you realize they're doing that to get you to comment? Because once you comment, you gotta pay. I mean, they are paying them to get to get comments and get views and get likes and all that on it, which is crazy. So it's crazy how the media turns into and all that, instead of getting paid for the knowledge that you know. It ain't really about knowledge anymore. It seems like it's more about clicks, not knowledge.
I'm gonna try to keep a lot of stuff in because, the things I've had to go through when I was in the media. 9 out of 10 times, it's like you said, the clicks, but it's also a beauty contest too. It's not even about a lot of these people, and there's a lot of people out there that I have tremendous respect for in this business. Worked with a lot of them, and I mean this in no offensive way, but if you're gonna hire somebody, make sure that they actually have the knowledge and the skills and the work ethic. Don't just hire them because they sound a certain way, they look a certain way, or all in all, don't just hire them for their appearance. It's ridiculous. I mean, I get it. Like I said, that's the name of the media business these days. It's like once there's the old timers that are still out there. I mean, Jay Harris, who was just on Dolph's show, he's still out there. I mean, doing his thing. I mean, there was Trey Wingo years ago. I mean, all those old timers, they got in at a time where sports news actually wasn't just about clicks and headlines. It was about actually telling factual stories. But now we're in a time where
when the Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog era, where they can just argue back and forth on TV.
So, I think Jay Harris. I actually watched the interview that Dolph had with Jay Harris. He mentioned the craziest thing is First Take wasn't the first time they actually had a debate show. It was actually on CNN with, I can't remember the reporters that he said. It was a conservative and a liberal debating, and that's kind of where it kind of broke off from, the First Take, the sports debate show. So apparently it goes back all the way to the 1980s on CNN. Did not know that, so learned something new. But yeah, everything's a debate. Everything's very, very opinionated, and if you don't agree, then people hound you for it, but it is what it is. That's just the nature of the world that we live in, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Also, brother the right man, I see you in the chat. You better come on and come talk to us. I ain't heard your voice in a while. Need to know your opinion on all this, on Tyrann Mathieu retiring, Holker getting waived / retiring, on the new jerseys we got. So bring your butt on here, the right. And anybody else that's on here as well that wants to come on, I got the link in the chat already. Just look for it. If not, I'll hit it one more time and I'll put it in there for y'all. Don't be afraid to come in here and come talk away and let your feelings out and let us know how you feel about Tyrann Mathieu, how you feel about the team, what you think about the jerseys and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to come on here and talk to me and Logan and give us your thoughts on everything. We would love to know your thoughts. Love to hear your voice and all that. Trust me, it ain't that scary. We're not going to bite you. And like my boy Slim South, man. Slim South used to be in the chat all the time. And guess what? Every time he comes in here now, he's always on a podcast talking. He ain't afraid anymore. The man went from an introvert to an extrovert. So, please, who that nation, don't be afraid. Like, one person that I haven't heard on the podcast yet since I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, I never heard Rose City's voice. That's one person I'm going to call out, Rose City. I got to hear your voice one day, bro. You got to hit that link and come chat away with me, brother. I haven't heard your voice. Never. Who's some other names in here I haven't heard? Man, I haven't heard Real Fan Sports. I haven't heard his voice yet. I haven't heard Zach at all. Cough, cough. Now I'm just messing with him. But yeah, Logan. Training camp starts tomorrow. It's gonna be open to the public, I heard. So that's gonna be fun. Saints fans, be able to go, watch the Saints in person and all that. But I guess to ask you, what are some things we looking for at training camp besides quarterback battle? If we kick the quarterback battle out, what are we looking for in particular now?
I'm looking to see how the development of the defensive back room looks this training camp, and also defensive line. There's basically from top to bottom, I want to see how this team looks. I mean, I know I can point out specific positions that I want to see, but honestly, from top to bottom, I want to see what a Kellen Moore team develops into going into preseason, and also the joint practice with the Los Angeles Chargers. I got still keep getting used to saying Los Angeles Chargers, not San Diego, but yeah, just from top to bottom, we'll see how this team develops and how Kellen Moore puts his stamp on this team. What is this team going to look like now? The quarterback competition is going to be the talk of the town, the word around the water cooler the whole summer until we get to September. I know everyone's going to be talking about that, but I honestly want to see everything else. I mean, the wide receiver room doesn't really bother me as much as everyone else. I want to see, honestly, it's like Dratavia said in the chat. I want to see how Rattler, Talishuk, and Hunter Deckers, I'm not even going to put Jake Haener in there because we've seen him under pressure, how they do with, live drills. How are they going to look in a team drill? Because pretty sure in training camp you can hit people. To my knowledge, I think you can. Yeah, training camp you can actually tackle and hit people. You can't bring them to the ground. You're in shells for the most part, but I want to see how they do under pressure. We know how Jake Haener is under pressure. Not great. Want to see, like I said, top to bottom. I'm just curious how this team's going to look when they take the snap, their first snap of preseason football come August. I'm very curious.
I think the number one thing going in there, it's always going to be quarterback, like you said, right? That's going to be the most taught. But I think one of the things that's going to be the most taught now going into training camp, too, is who's going to take Tyrann Mathieu's spot. Who's going to be the next person to step up and take that position that Tyrann Mathieu left, because he's gone now. He just retired today. So that's going to be the new questions, the new big questions right behind the quarterback position. And also, is there anybody in camp that's going to step up and show Kellen Moore and them that I should be running back number 2? Is there going to be anybody there doing that as well? That's going to be like another topic to talk about. And also, who's going to make this wide receiver roster? That's the real question, because you got a lot of people, right? You got Rasheed Shaheed. Of course, a lot of it you already know they safe. You probably already know Brandon Cooks is safe. But from there, it's about means going to be the safe guy next. Peeper Jones, is he going to make it? What was his name? Mixon or Dixon or whatever his name was from SMU?
Oh, yeah. Moochie Dixon from SMU. Dolph absolutely loves that kid. He gave rave reviews about him. I was one of Kevin Jennings' big main targets in college, or was one of his targets in college at SMU. So, Dolph actually has him making the 53. I mean, I'd love to see a lot of younger guys make this roster. I mean, if it winds up just being a bunch of young guys instead of mixed together, that's fine. And it's like Zach said, it's a rebuild basically. I don't know what people thought a rebuild was, but that's what happens. You get rid of the old and bring in the young and go from there. I mean, that's how a rebuild works, and you just only hope and pray that you catch lightning in a bottle. But just like you said, curious to see how the wide receiver room shakes out, but I think it's going to shake out exactly the way you and I and Dolph and even Zach's been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks. And the running back room, and I mean, I know you and Dolph love Cam Akers, but it's just, I don't think he might make this roster. It all depends on how training camp and preseason works out, but I just truly believe that, I still think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to surprise a lot of people. I really, really do. I mean, when he was healthy for the Chiefs and healthy physically and mentally for the Chiefs, It's unbelievable. There's a reason why they took him in the first round. And that's not even just LSU bias. I still just think Clyde's going to make this team. And then the offensive line might be the one group that I think is the strongest on this team outside of everything else. But it's going to be an interesting training camp. I mean, there's just so many storylines I'm looking forward to hearing. Like, oh, this person was this great at training camp today. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to think too much into it because, like I said, it's training camp. I'm gonna put more stock in the preseason this time around because I've been burned so many times because of training camp that I'm just gonna wait till preseason this time.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, the reason why I like him, Akers, is because he's got talent, you know, and he just reminds me a lot of just basically an older version of Kendre Miller. He's got the talent. He's been in the NFL. He showed that he can play in the NFL. Just can you stay healthy? So if Cam Akers can stay healthy, I see why not. Why couldn't he make the team, right? But the question is, will Kendre Miller stay healthy? Will Cam Akers stay healthy? Will Clyde be healthy and mentally healthy, right? And when you kick all those doors down, are they gonna be healthy? At least one person left. Well, two people left, right? Devin Neal and Yon. That's the only two people you got left that hasn't been injury prone yet. Coming up into college and all that. So, if I had to guess, AK, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, and then it's going to be out of, whatever it's going to be Clyde or Cam Akers. And then whoever doesn't make it can be on the practice squad. I think that's how it's going to turn out to be. Is there anybody else we're missing? Running back room, or is that everybody?
I think you pretty much said everybody. So there's at the moment there's not going to be this many on the roster. There's Alvin, there's Clyde, there's Kendre, there's Cam Akers, and there's Marcus Yarns. So that's 5 at the moment. I think they keep 3 or 4. Oh, I mean, Velus Jones, if you want to count him as a running back. I don't, but
okay, Velus Jones Jr.
So there's 6, but I think they're only going to keep. I think they keep 4 at the most, and I still think it's going to be Alvin, Clyde, Devin Neal, and I think Marcus Yarns is going to surprise people this preseason.
Hey, brother, the right. I see you in the back, but it says device not connected. You might want to leave and try to rejoin the link for me before we can bring you on, brother. But yeah, that was one person we was missing. Velus Jones Jr. I'm trying to think who are some people we are missing. Who I'm missing at wide receiver. So, Chris Olave, Rasheed Shaheed, Bud Means, Brandon Cooks, Peeper Jones, Cedric Wilson, and then from there we got that Dixon or Mixon person.
Moochie Dixon.
And then from there I'm trying to figure out who else.
So that's 7, and I can assure you, I don't think they're going to keep 7 wide receivers. I think it's only going to probably be 6. They're not keeping 5. It's just too little over a wide receiver room. I think they go with 6 wide receivers. If they go with 7, then I have no idea who the heck's going to make this team. But it's going to be very interesting training camp. It really, really is. I'm looking forward to, like I said, all the storylines. This is going to be, well, I mean, today and yesterday was not a great news day, but I'm hoping the rest of the week we have great news going forward.
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints signed Asante Samuel. The New Orleans Saints signed Noah Fant. The New Orleans Saints signed Justin Simmons. The New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl. The New Orleans Saints.
I'd like to see them sign Zy Alexander, who just got cut by the Seattle Seahawks, but we'll see how that goes.
That's the rookie cornerback or whatever, right? From
Southeastern and LSU, and I can't believe the Seahawks cut him, but I'm hoping he lands with somebody. I really, really think he has tremendous upside. Just needs the right team to believe in him like I do.
So the real question is, if you was to go sign somebody like Asante Samuel or somebody, what are you doing with Alontae Taylor now? Are you moving him back to the nickel?
So, Alontae, I mean, he's a slot nickel corner, I think, through and through. I don't really think he can play. I mean, he might be able to if you work him, but I don't think Alante can go play opposite Kool-Aid McKinstry. Could he, if needed? Maybe, but if you go look on film, he's better as the nickel slot guy. So if you go out there and get Asante Samuel Jr., your 3 starting corners are going to be Kool-Aid, Asante, and then you have Alante in the slot. I just think that sets him up better for success at that position. And when you go in the nickel formation, he plays a good nickel corner very well too. He's been doing it for years. It's just I don't think he's a good outside boundary type of corner.
Because it seems like that's what he was trying to preach to everybody and saying, put me out on the outside corner and release me. So I'm guessing he's saying he's really good on the outside, but a lot of people don't believe in him as much as he believes in himself, I guess.
I'd be curious to see. I mean, I'm not saying he can't do it. I mean, he's played football probably since he was 5 years old. I'm sure he can do it. I mean, we just haven't seen him do it yet. I don't know. The new secondary coach's name escapes me at the moment. I don't know what his plans are for him, but, I think he could do it if called upon. I mean, he's got the talent, and this is a new regime, new coaching staff. It's all about what Brandon Staley wants and what the new secondary coach wants.
Yeah.
Not really about what Alante wants. So.
Yeah, Addison said, I think he can. People forget about when he played outside his rookie year with Laddie. Yeah, when he wore number 27. When he was knocking everything out of everybody's hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, so he did. He ain't bad. But once they did that, then the Debo kind of took over, and he became the nickel, and he started learning the nickel better. The best. But, we're going to see what Stanley wants, We all got to see what he's really looking to, achieve with this defense. And that's the real question is if they do sign Asante Samuel and make a contract for him, you'll probably have Kool-Aid and him on the outside. Like you said, Alante in the nickel. And then your 2 safeties would be possibly Justin Reed and Sinkers or Howden, one of those. But what about what's his name? Because we haven't heard his name since he came and visited the Saints. Gabe Davis. We do need some help at receiver too. If we need some big body receiver, unless you say you don't want to waste a pick on him. I mean, waste money on him and just use Bud Means instead.
I mean, I'd rather just use Bub Means. I mean, he came and visited. Nothing came from it. But, I haven't heard anything since his visit, actually, which is crazy. Usually I hear something like, hey, what's the update on this? I haven't heard anything. So it must have just been a quick meeting and that was it. Because since then, I haven't heard Gabe Davis's name in the news at all. So to be frank with you, I have no idea what's going to come of it. I don't think Gabe Davis is going to sign with the Saints. So, but, yeah, the Saints are not going 3-14. Thank you very much. But
that's the post game. He's a Saints fan too. He just thinks that we're gonna have a terrible season.
We've spoken on here before.
You spoke with the post game before. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a pessimist. I'm just cautiously optimistic, and I'm sure the post game thinks
differently.
The worst. He thinks differently than I do. I don't think we're the worst team in the NFL. We're not going to go 3-14. I think
we can't go. This is how I feel as a Saints fan. I don't see us going worse than what we did last year when we had a worse coaching staff and a worse team with all the injuries we had. There's no way we won that, I said we at least get more than 5 wins. I said we get 6 to 9 wins this year. That's mine. That's my prediction. 6 to 9 wins. 3 wins is a little bit too less. It's too small.
So, the way I do things, there's no ceiling or floor for me. There's the floor, the ceiling, and the roof. The ceiling, the floor, I truly think is 6 wins. The ceiling, I think, is 7. And the absolute roof, if you get to the roof, then you're doing something right, is 8 wins. So, I just think some people are just being a little bit too pessimistic. Some people are just being outrageously pessimistic and giving really hot takes. But it's just, you just have to wait and see what happens because football isn't played on paper. Football's played in between the lines. It's played on turf. It's played on grass. It's played in the rain, snow, heat, cold, whatever. It's not played on paper, and it's not played on Madden. So it's just a wait and see. But I still believe, this is not the worst team in the NFL. I don't think we're going to have 3 wins at all. I just think that's a little absurd. Because my philosophy is, if you can win 5 games with DA as your head coach for most of the season, then you have Darren Rizzi finishing it off, and you're going through 3 different quarterbacks. You really don't think you're better than you were last year? That's just absolutely ludicrous to me. I mean, I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. I get it. I think the post game says he's just a realist too. The last time we spoke on your show, I don't remember if I'm misquoting him or anything, but I just don't think this team is that bad. But like I said,
you look at the roster. I said the roster. You look at the schedule that we play. I went over that the other day, and look, I just want you to say yours, okay? Don't say win or loss. Just say this is a winnable game or this is a loss for sure, because what I mean by winnable means we got a chance against them, right? So this is the schedule right here. I pulled it up for us. So just go by game. Let us know if it's in a winnable game or you just see this being a straight L.
I think the last time actually we did this exercise post game. Came on the show, basically said we was going to lose every single game. I still got my notes from the last time we actually did this, and I had us going 8-9 at the most. There was I still have my notes right here from the last time we did that. Actually, crazy enough.
Yeah. So let's do this, and you can agree or not agree. Game 1 against the Cardinals, that's a winnable game for us. Not like, I got to come in here and say we're going to lose this one at home. I don't think we're just going to just lose to a team, compared to like if you look at week 4, you look at the Bills. Okay, the Bills are a really great team. I think they're going to beat us. I don't see it as a winnable game. I just see us losing because they're just more talented than we are. They more experienced and all that. So let's say week 1, I think it's winnable. Week 2, depending on what 49ers you get, because a lot of their people are hurt right now too, I heard. Brandon Ayuk's not ready. And then their other receiver, I think Ricky Pearson that they drafted recently last year is hurt again. He's on the PUP list right now. Depends on what McCaffrey looks like at this season now. It looks like it just depends on how everybody goes. But what you thinking about them? I'm going to say a loss. I do think Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are still a good team to beat.
So, the schedule, is pretty favorable in my opinion. I know that's crazy to say, but I think a lot of these games are winnable. But it all depends. It really just depends on what the team looks like. After week 1, I can maybe give you a pinpoint with this week 1, maybe week 2, what this team looks like. But looking at the schedule, I really can see 6 to 8 wins. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to lose every single game. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win every game. But I'm looking at games that are winnable, like the Cardinals. I think the Seahawks are winnable. I think the Giants is a winnable game. The Patriots, one of the Bucs games. I think we split with a lot of the division. I think we go 1-1 against the Bucs and Falcons.
The post game thinks he said we're not better than the Falcons or the Bucs. Losses are going to be already from Seattle, Buffalo, Tampa, Rams, and Falcons. He said right there that's 7 losses. He basically said we're going to get swept by the Falcons and the Bucs.
I don't see it. Here's the thing.
I can see the Bucs sweeping us, but not the Falcons.
Here's the thing. Panthers, where did they get better at than the Saints? They still have Bryce Young, who I still don't fully believe in. I just think a lot of people hyped him up because he went to Alabama. He had Nick Saban as his coach. It's not me being LSU biased or anything. It's just I have my own eyes and my own opinions, but I just think, looking at the schedule, but I just don't see 3 wins. I'm not saying we're going to the playoffs, but I think we can honestly sweep the Panthers because I don't think they're that good. The only decent receiver on that team is McMillian, who just got drafted. That's the only real good one because Thielen's getting older. And yeah, Bryce Young hasn't really shown me. He's shown glimpses. I don't think he's gonna be the guy that Panthers fans hope he is. It's just, I don't think the Panthers are going to be a great team.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to sweep anyone in the division, I think it's going to be the Carolina Panthers, because where did they get better at? Where did they improve at? They still have an unproven head coach, Dave Canales, who I think did very well in Tampa, but Bryce Young does not, scare me. But, I think, Tampa's been improving each year since Todd Bowles took over, which is crazy enough, but Tampa's got the stout defense, which I think is going to give the Saints problems, especially with a rookie quarterback or even Spencer Rattler out there. But I don't know where this love and for the Panthers came from, because looking at their roster, where did they improve at? I mean, I don't know where this love for the Panthers. I don't get it. I just don't get where the Panthers love comes from. But 6 to 8 wins, I think. Like I said, your floor is 6, your ceiling is 7, and I think the absolute roof is 8. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna lose every single game. That's just insane. I just think that's not even being real. That's just being a true negative person. Honestly, it's not even being real. Like, it really isn't. I'm not even trying to call anyone out. That's just insane thinking, honestly.
Yeah. The good thing is, my boy, the post game, he clicked the link, so he's going to come on and chat with us as well. And the right, if you want to come back on again, try it again earlier. It wouldn't let you, your screen even work at all. It just literally said the device was not connected at all. So if you want to come on, hit the link again. Let me put it in the chat one more time for everybody, just in case they were trying to come on. I hate how the thing like disappears after a while, and the chat just goes up so much. All right, so let's bring on the post game, man. How you been?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Doing good. Well,
Listen,
better. How about I say better?
I think you look at the Carolina Panthers. They have a secondary in Jalen Croker, who had an outstanding rookie season. They have McMillan, who is going to be a number 1, number 2 receiver in the NFL. And then they have Xavier Legette, who's their number 1 receiver. They have added Hunter Renfrow, who, yes, you can say he's up in age now, but like he's still a very good receiver for that young locker room. And then you also have Adam Thielen as well, who's still there. And so I think, look at the Panthers. They've had an outstanding offseason. They're doing their jobs, to say the least. I think the Panthers will be better than the Saints this year, plain and simple. And I think if you put the schedule back up, like, I think we're gonna lose week 1 to the Cardinals. I just think they're a better team than the Saints. Who knows what type of team the 49ers are gonna be? So I'm gonna say that's a win. That's gonna be a loss to Seattle, a loss to the Bills. We'll beat the Giants. I think there's gonna be a loss to the Patriots. Who knows what the Bears are gonna be week 7? Could be another loss. Tampa Bay could be will be another loss, because I think they'll split us. And then the Rams will lose to the Rams as well. So you look at it, we beat the Niners, the Giants, and then maybe we'll steal one from the Patriots or the Bears. So that's three wins right there out of the first 9 games. And then you look at the other half of the schedule. You have the Carolina Panthers, who I think we'll split with a bye. I think Atlanta could be a split depending on what the division looks like, because we have Atlanta week 18. I think Atlanta's still going to be trying for the conference week 18. I think the Saints are going to be done. And so I think that's why that will be a sweep, because we will not care come week 18, but Atlanta will be starting all their starters, really trying to put their foot on everybody's necks. And so that's why I think Atlanta will sweep the Saints. The Dolphins, I think they're going to be bad. So who knows? I'll give the Saints that win. Why not? And then, the Jets will beat the Jets. And then I think we'll lose one of the 2 with the Jets and the Titans. So at most, I think we win 6 games. At most. But I think the floor could be 3 games. I think the idea that people think that we're so much better than we are, we have a rookie starting quarterback.
That's fine. I mean, we've seen other people come in here as a rookie and, take off, and we had seen people that come in as a rookie and shit it in their pants.
Absolutely, but no one expected Tyler Shrug to be decent. Or no one thought he would be a second-round pick. Like, I get it, like the idea's there, but it's not. I don't think that's a very credible pick. I think this is a year for the Saints to really see what they have, and then we're gonna go from there. But I think right now, yeah.
I mean, what we did last year, 5 wins, flipping 3 different quarterbacks. Everybody hated Carr, the way he played. Rattler trying to play finally with Olave on one play, and then Olave got concussed and he went out, and then so he got hurt in the same game and was out for the rest of the season. So we had nobody to play with, basically. So we were playing with practice wide receivers, switching so many men back and forth. Well, not men, I would say different lineups, I'll say, on the offensive line because everybody was getting hurt. You only had like 2 or 3 people that actually stayed healthy in between that offensive line. A terrible head coach, and Dennis Allen, thank God he's gone.
Completely agree.
And, then you had Richie took over. He kind of gave a spark a little bit. He gave us energy, and then that energy just went out. The fire went out.
Like, what do we genuinely have? What have we added to say, oh, the Saints can get more than 6 wins? What have we added?
We added a better coaching staff around us.
Absolutely.
How about I say that?
Because you have a better coaching staff doesn't make that drastically better. We don't have the personnel to do that.
I mean, you got to realize coaching does matter.
It does. I completely agree. As a coach, I completely agree. But we don't have the personnel to install that system.
And also, 2 first-round picks. Well, matter of fact, more than 2. 3. Well, I lied. How many fucking first-round picks we got on our O-line now? 3 or 4 offensive linemen. But Kevin Banks coming in here, I think he's going to make a change to that O-line. Fuaga had a great season. He's going to make a leap. So that's going to be 2 really good solidified tackles right there. McCoy's already going to hold it down in the middle.
I think Banks can be very good, but he's not going to be great out of his first year.
I mean, just think of it like this last year. Remember, we didn't care for Derek Carr. We didn't care for Dennis Allen as a head coach as much. And I was trying my best, to try to be positive, believe in my Saints, believe in Derek Carr and them. But, after those first 2 weeks, you was like, holy shit, look at this team go. And as soon as Eric McCoy went down, your big man in the center, everything just went in a disaster. People started getting hurt. People started, freaking injuries started flying in. And after that, it was just terrible. We still somehow won 5 total games with this terrible, team and injuries. So that's why I'm saying I can't see us being worse than 5 wins than what we did last year, because we're just getting better. And matter of fact, you can complain about the quarterback room, which is fine, but I think Tyler Suggs can be on the same level as Carr, because at least he can scramble too and make plays. Unlike Carr, he's just going to sit in the pocket and, take the hit and going to be scared and throw the ball away really quick. At least we got somebody that can scramble. Same thing with Rattler, depending on who goes. I'm thinking it's going to be more Tyler Suggs just because he got a fully guaranteed contract. Kellen Moore drafted him. It's his job to lose, the starting quarterback job. But him or Spencer Rattler, they both can scramble. They both got arm talents. I think they're going to be fine under Kellen Moore, because no matter who Kellen Moore has as a quarterback, he's pretty successful with his offense with any quarterback. He won with Kenny Pickett. He won with Cooper Rush a few times. He won with the quarterbacks he has. So I think we're going to be fine with Kellen Moore, because Kellen Moore played the quarterback position, and he kind of reminds me of like a Sean Payton, like a quarterback guru.
So I completely agree. I think Kellen Moore's absolutely outstanding. He's going to be a great head coach for the Saints. But think about 2 things you just said. He won with Kenny Pickett and he won with Cooper Rush. They were both protected by 2 of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. Like they were under the pocket of 2 perfect offensive linemen in Dallas and Philly. Like that we don't have that luxury of having a perfect offensive line. He's not going to have all the time in the world like he wants to. Kellen Moore exceeded when he was with the Cowboys. He exceeded, obviously, winning the Super Bowl with the Eagles last year, because that teams that they've had it. I'm not saying that he's a bad head coach. I think Kellen Moore's going to be very good. He's very smart, and I agree with the Sean Payton take that he is a offensive guru. But when it comes to the team right now, yes, again, I get it. The O-line has improved 100%, but they're not going to snap together overnight. That's just not how the NFL works. Not at all.
But like you said, they was Cooper Rush and Pickett was on the 2 great, tackles, offensive linemen. But don't forget, Fuaga showed his thing. Like, he barely made mistakes last year as a rookie, right? Comes bringing in the next year, still does the same thing. And the cool thing I like about this year is that they finally put in people in the positions. You know, like Fuaga played right tackle, and he played all last year at left tackle. Well, now they moving him to right tackle finally to where he played in college, and then Banks is going to left tackle where he played in college. So those two, you know, if Bank has a Fuaga season, you're going to have two good solid tackles right there for you to protect your quarterback. Plus, you got one of the best centers in the league in Eric McCoy. As long as he stays healthy this season and doesn't get hurt again, this offensive line is going to be pretty solid. I say we can have a top 10 offensive line in the league, and that's going to be pretty solid. So that's why I'm saying I don't see us being as bad. Now, I don't see us making the playoffs unless, like we said, Tyler Sucks, Spencer Rattler, whoever's the quarterback, becomes that guy, the franchise guy, and they just show us I can be that guy. Then, yes, we can possibly make a playoff. But other than that, I don't see us losing, you know, more than I don't see us being worse than 5-win team like we did. I think we're going to at least be 6 and above. At least we're going to be better than last year. That's my prediction. I think we're going to be a little bit better than last year because you look at the Falcons. The Falcons still don't scare me that much. The only person that I even like better than Drake London, that people, they keep bragging about Drake London. Darnell Mooney was kicking everybody's ass last year over Drake London. That's who I'll be worried about more as a Saints fan right now. Darnell Mooney with his speedy butt and able what he did with the Falcons. And B. John Robinson, that's who I really like. And Jesse Bates, those are like my 3 top guys I like over there. Other than that, I'm not really afraid of Drake London like that. Like people think we are. Everybody thinks we should be scared of Michael Penix. We're not scared of him. Like he's still got to teach us to see if he can be the guy for the Falcons too. He didn't show much last year, you know. So why would I be afraid of them?
Listen. If I look at Atlanta started figuring things out once they started Michael Penix. They also went out and drafted 2 of the better all defensive ends in the draft last year, or this past year, which is going to be an issue because that pass rush is going to become a lot better this season. Again, we don't play them until week 14 or something, maybe week 12.
Week 12.
I just don't. Me personally, I don't think that the Saints are going to. Listen, and I could be wrong. Oh, we don't play until week 12 after the bye week, so that could be a win there. But again, who knows? Like who knows what the Saints are going to do? I personally don't see. I don't see the vision. Like I get it. I think this year should be a year for the Saints to tank. It should be because like 6 wins doesn't get us anywhere, but the 10th overall pick. That's what it gets us. And it's not productive for me. I just don't think it's a very productive move as a Saints organization. If we're gonna have a bad year this year, then we should go full broke and bomb. Like we shouldn't sit here and try to play the middle of the road game and be like the Raiders from last year. Like that's just not productive. I
wouldn't want to tank there.
Do I think we have young talent to be pretty good? Yes, absolutely. I think there is young talent that can be there, but we're still a ways away, and I think we're gonna see. This be the last season for Cam Jordan. By the way.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be his last year, and to be honest with you, that's why I think the Saints came out with the gold jerseys too for him because he's been preaching it for years. He wanted to play in a gold jersey, and he's finally here to see it. Now, the one shocker though today, I mean, you hear it now, so I want to ask you this: what was your thoughts today when they said Tyrann Mathieu retired? Like nobody was seeing that.
I mean, I told y'all that I think the Saints, there are some older players that need to be on their way out. I think our average age is skewed a little bit because of how many like rookies and second-year players we have. But if we look at the depths of our defense, the depths of our team, like it's definitely age-driven. I like it. I wish it would have happened before the draft because it's a little it's a little deep in the offseason. I don't love the idea that he retired the last week of June. Like that's just not productive for the Saints, especially for that defense. How much I would love to know how much money that saves us. But regardless,
it's got to save us something, you know, for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's got to save us a little bit of change.
And that's the question for you. Like I already asked Logan this earlier, and I'll ask you this: what do you do in this situation now? So with him retiring, do you, just kick the tires and find out who's going to be the next man? Is it going to be Jordan Howard, Jonas Sanker, your rookie, or do you go out and get a veteran like Justin Simmons who's still out there?
I'm saying I saw Justin Simmons is open or is on the market. I mean that's not a bad shout for if we can get him for cheap as well. Like why not? I think the secondary should definitely have a vet up there. I don't think we should do a bunch of rookies starting from scratch again. What do you mean? But there's no again when you mean starting from scratch. The Saints have never started and officially begin the rebuild. It's always been okay, let's continue to build on top of this garbage. Like, it's never been an actual rebuild. And so I think if the Saints, like, if we're being real, I think next year we'll see the Saints tear it all down and build it back up, because now Kellen Moore is entering his second season, and now he needs to be judged. I think Kellen Moore can lose every game this season and not get fired, and I completely stand behind him. But if he were to, but next year he has his quarterback that he drafted. Whatever happens in the draft next year, whatever place we get in the draft, that's where we go from there. But other than that, I just don't think. I think this year should be graded on the curve. Because I
wouldn't want to tank. I wouldn't want to tank. The reason why I wouldn't want to tank as a fan is because I want to play through the season and actually play, not tank. I want to play and see what we have.
I don't think we're tanking. I think we're just going to be bad. I don't think we're tanking. I just think there are other teams who are better. Look at the Bears. The Bears are a better football team than us. Simple
we gotta see. We just gotta see how they play, because Caleb Williams didn't perform like he did.
If I look at personnel right now today, I would pick the Bears personnel over the Saints personnel.
Damn, even with Dennis Allen over there. No, that's man.
I mean,
he's a DC now. He's not a head coach, so we good.
He's very good at being a DC as well. Very good at it. That's his job. But again, like, I would prefer to pick that roster of the Bears today over the Saints roster. Simple as that.
I mean, their receiving core is, pretty decent. DJ Moore and I don't know how to say his damn name. Roman
Aduzie.
Yeah, like that. Those two are decent together. And Cole Kmet, tight ends, not bad. Who's the guy they just drafted too? What's his name? Like something Loveland or something like that. What's his name, y'all?
The tight end. I got drafted by the Chargers.
The Loveland person? Wasn't it the Bears that drafted Loveland?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
So it was, yeah. Him. So, they got some pretty decent plays. The only thing I would be worried about with the Bears is how will Caleb Williams adapt to, Ben Johnson offense, and also how would, what's his name, in the backfield, DeAndre Swift turns out, because last year he wasn't the best running back, like his best performance, in forever since he was on with the Lions and stuff. So we'll just see how everything rolls out with the Bears. They got other teams, like when they say the Saints going to be 2-something and we're going to be the worst team in the NFL. I think that's just a lot of bullshit. You got to look at the Titans. Yeah, they just got Cam Ward, but who do they got on the Titans that's going to beat us? Nobody.
Well, we definitely will see, because we play them this season. I mean, do I think we're better than the Titans? Yes, but again, who knows what the NFL, what our landscape looks like going into the second to last week of the season. Like, I think at that point we should be, like, if we're 4 and whatever, we should be playing for a win. Like, we should be playing for a good draft pick. Like, we get halfway through the season and our record is 3-6. Like, I mean, I think that season's over.
It depends, because that's when we start playing our teams, like our division. We start playing the Falcons, and you start playing the Panthers, and all towards the second half, which is weird that we finally start playing them all the way towards the second half. But I looked at the schedule for all the people in the division. I can't really tell, but when I was looking at it, it seemed like the Bucs and the Falcons got the hardest freaking schedule. And like, if you went and looked at the Falcons schedule and compared it, to the Saints schedule, you would look at it and be like, there's a lot of games that I think the Falcons could easily lose next year, just with the lineups that they'd be facing next year, which is crazy. And they just got to be really good. Like, Michael Penix got to be that guy. And they got to turn around this year. Because what they wound up finishing last year, 8-9 or something like that?
Sounds about right.
Something like that. So 8-9. So they need to find a way to turn it around. The Falcons got to find a way to turn it around, because they got a tougher schedule this year than what they did last year. Because you remember last year they were saying the Saints and the Falcons got the 2 easiest schedule last year, and we wound up, losing and getting injured, and they wound up only finishing 8-9 with some of the schedules that they had. And just to be honest with you, you remember how we were talking about we might have a win or we might not have a win against the Falcons in Week 18, because at that point you don't want to win. Well, it's a rivalry team, and us as the Saints will probably plan to beat them regardless of if we in the playoffs or not, just because we hate the Falcons. You got to think about it like that too. We hate them, and it's just like that game against them where we apologize to them.
I've seen in my life, by the way.
And that's why he's not here. That's why he's not here anymore, because he apologized.
All right, so I'm going to read the chat one, then I'm going to head out, because I actually have to go record my own stuff.
No, you good. No, you good, man.
Someone said, "What if we're 6-3? Then where do we stand?" I think if we're at 6-3 going into week 10, then the Saints are having a very good football season. Plain and simple. If we are at 6-3, then I think we should keep our foot on the gas. I don't think I'm under the notion that we're going to be a bad football team. If the Saints come out and surprise me and we're 6-3, then we're having a good season and we should continue to play the way we're playing. Like, I'm not a Saints hater. Obviously, I'm a Saints fan, and I want to see us do good. But I'm just a realist. I'm just one of those people who are going to sit there and be real about the reality of what this team is.
And the other thing that what's crazy too when you think about it, because C Nice put it in the chat last year, even with injuries, me looking back, we could have possibly won 12 games. They had some game that was close that we should have even been close with the injuries we had on our team. Like, teams should have been kicking our asses, and we stayed in there and fought with the terrible team we had. So if you think about it, we stay healthy and a better coaching staff, I don't see why not. But it depends on, can we stay healthy? Because that's the damn curse the last few years. We can't stay healthy since when? 2020? Could Drew Brees last year, he got hurt and hurt his thumb. It was just like, it was a disaster. Like, we can't stay healthy to save our lives. Now, if we can stay healthy this season with the new head coach and all that, I think we can win, more games than we did last year. But it all depends. So like Logan said, I think the floor for us is 5 to 6 wins. The max, wins is about, 7 to 9 wins, depending on how you perform. Depends really how you perform and how your quarterback plays out.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I appreciate y'all for letting me come on here. It's always fun. It's always great. Going back and forth. But yeah, man. Yeah. Y'all take it easy. Yeah, man. I appreciate
and tell everybody how to find you on YouTube.
Oh yeah, hey, come check me out. The post game on YouTube. We are going through a series right now where we talk about every single NFL team. We are actually almost done with that series. So go check out the Saints video. It is already out on the channel. It's a good one, I think. Some people might not like it in the chat. But I can link it in the chat if you want me to.
You can put it in there. Put it in there for them.
Yeah, well, we definitely appreciate y'all for letting me come on here, and it's always good. It's always good, man.
No problem. Who that, brother?
Who that, y'all? Y'all take it easy.
You too. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. You're going to try to come back on and talk to me real quick. I know you said you wanted to talk earlier, and then, like I said, your device didn't connect earlier. I want to hear your voice, bro. Because I know always got some good stuff to say. But like I said, there is a link in the chat for y'all. Click that link and let us know. I want to hear everybody's voices that I haven't heard yet today. I want to know what's y'all thoughts on everything, especially I want to know y'all thoughts, especially on the Tyrann Mathieu retiring, and Holker retiring as well, which is crazy to think about. But if you think about the retirement stuff so far this year that were Saints players or that was just on the Saints roster or used to play for the Saints, Ryan Ramczyk this year retired. You got Teron Armstead retired. You had Jimmy Graham, Tyrann Mathieu, and now Holker. So a lot of people retiring. Logan, so I mean, what's your thoughts on all these people that we used to watch and love, and protect Drew Brees are even going now? Ramchek's gone because of his knee injury. Teron Armstead's getting older, he's gone. So like, what's your thought on all these? Seeing all these people we was growing up watching finally disappearing, and it's becoming a new era. It looks like.
So, the one thing I can say is it's sad to see him go, but it's also one of the things one of my old high school coaches said is football doesn't last forever. But also, Father Time catches up with you eventually, and Father Time waits for no man or woman. So it's sad to see him go, but people get old, and sometimes your mind is saying, yeah, I can play until I'm 45 like Tom Brady, but your body's telling you, nah, champ, it's time to hang it up, even though you're 30. But it's, like I said, it's sad to see him go, but happens. Father Time catches up to all of us at some point. I know it caught up to me pretty quickly when I was playing. So, but yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting seeing all these players that we grew up watching not in the NFL anymore. I mean, I'm pretty sure Tom Brady was the last player that, from at least in my opinion, from our childhood, like in the 2000s era, that was the last of the OGs. So But there's a saying, it's a young man's game now. It really is. Even my dad said it's a young man's game.
I mean, who's the only old quarterback we got left in here now? If you think about it, because remember Brady finally did it. Phillip Rivers required. I guess Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco was the last of the OGs.
Is he really that last? The old people.
He's been in the league since 2008. He's the last of the ones. He's 41, 42 years old. He's the last one.
Anybody else we're thinking of?
After Joe Flacco goes, that's it.
Because, hold on, so let's think about this. So, let's go to the AFC real quick, right? So, you got young quarterbacks like Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, who just came into the lead, Anthony Richardson, slash Daniel Jones, depending on who starts over there. Who's some other quarterbacks I'm missing? A-Rod's still there. My bad. Old A-Rod with the Steelers.
This is Aaron Rodgers' last year, so once Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco hang it up after this year, because there's no way in heck Joe Flacco's playing another year, I don't think. So once Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco go, that's basically it for our childhood. There's that last two. So it's going to be sad to see them go, and basically our childhood is officially our childhood is basically already over, because Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers aren't what they used to be. So once Brady retired, that was pretty much it for my childhood, in my opinion, because after that, Aaron Rodgers didn't look the same. Joe Flacco, I don't know how the heck he's still doing it, but yeah, it's a young man's game now, so it is what it is. Father time waits for no man, and it's a young man's game. So
there's nobody besides Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, right? There's nobody else in the league right now that cannot scramble out the pocket if you don't, chase him, right? I mean, Matthew Stafford, maybe. I forgot about Stafford. He's in there still.
So, I think, if we're talking about older quarterbacks, I'm starting to remember. Pretty sure there's only 3 left. Stafford was drafted in 2009 or 2007, I believe.
I'll look it up.
I could be mistaken. I think it was 08, 09. Yeah, it was 2009 because the Lions went 0-16 in 2008. So then Joe Flacco was drafted in 2008. Aaron Rodgers 2005, the year of Katrina. So those 3's time is almost up. It's going to be crazy.
Matthew Stafford. So Matthew Stafford's one. Geno Smith's another one. He's getting older, up in age. And I'm reading through all these other names. Seems like everybody else just got young quarterbacks now. And maybe, and Russell Wilson. Getting a little bit up there in age. He's been in the league for a while now as well. And Joe Flacco. So, yeah, that's really... Yeah, that's crazy. And you know what's even crazier? They were doing these rankings and stuff, and they said that Tyler Sucks is the worst quarterback in the NFL, like starting quarterback right now. They got Mason Rudolph above him before they even signed Aaron Rodgers.
Thanks to one needs to go find Myles Garrett and hit them upside the head with a helmet. I mean, good,
right?
But
it's crazy, man.
I don't look in too deeply on those rankings anymore like I used to. It's just someone's got a job to do. That's how I see it.
Oh, for sure. And I just want to ask anybody, is there anybody that's in the chat that wants to hop on, talk to me and Logan real quick, let us know their feelings about Tyrann Mathieu retiring, and talk about anything y'all want to talk about. Let me know, because if not, we're going to end the podcast very soon, enjoy our evenings, and possibly be back live, probably not tomorrow, because that'll be my first day back at work. Yoo-hoo. My boss texted me and said, as long as you don't have no big symptoms or anything, you can come back to work. So I ain't having no big symptoms besides just coughing up, my regular old sickness, and that's it, really. So I'm good to go tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow at work. Trying to sell some damn cars. So anybody that needs a car, please come see your boy, Hoodie Jew. Because I need to sell some damn cars. Brooke said in the chat, I'm shocked about the honey badger. Yes, I know. We all were shocked about the decision, because Logan said he was even more shocked because, he's got the insights and all that, and nobody told him nothing. And he said the people in the inside hadn't even heard nothing from any rumors about him possibly retiring, So that is a little shocker. But it is what it is. Jotavius said, we need a young team anyway. Yeah, we do. We do need a younger team. Yep, because some teams, I mean, it's just like the NBA. A lot of these people that are younger and fresher and can go up and down the court and run all day, every day, those are the teams that are making it more towards the playoffs because they fresher compared to these older folks, you know, that are trying to still stay in the game now. Don't get me twisted, though. LeBron's still going to, you know, posterize you and duck on you and all that. You know, you're still going to get behind the older Jokic. He's still going to back you down, even though how athletic he'll be. He's still going to, you know, he's going to do that Dirk Nowitzki kind of fade away on you and the score all day. But, you know, speaking of that, man, I can't believe Derek Queen got hurt already, bro. Man, we are just terrible at getting hurt. We can't stop the damn injuries.
Okay, so I know everyone was freaking out about it. You have to remember this. We're in July. The season doesn't start until the last week of October. So he's going to be fine. It's his wrist. It ain't like he tore his ACL or anything. It happened in a summer league game where he probably fell to the ground because the ref didn't call a foul. But anyway, he's going to be okay. It's not something to worry about. It's going to be okay.
I wish somebody would take this damn injury voodoo doll off of us, bro.
It's called Oshner, but I don't want to speak too much on them. But I don't know. I don't want their people coming for me. But
that'd be funny. You get a phone call right now. You started talking about us, damn it. But if nobody wants to hop on, that's we're gonna end the podcast here, brother. Thank y'all for all coming in here and, you know, tuning on in. Make sure y'all hit the like button for your boy. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And also make sure, if you're watching from the Twitter side, make sure you hit the like button and follow me on that Twitter page as well. And if you are watching from the Twitter side, my YouTube channel is linked to the bio, so you can go in there and check it and hit the subscribe button and support us over here as well. Also, thank you for the post game for coming on, giving us what his thoughts are on everything. It's always good to hear somebody differently, you know, to see what they think compared to what everybody else is thinking, and you can tell he's totally thinking opposite of what we're thinking, which is totally fine. You know, at the end of the day, you need some people that's gonna think like that and think differently. Because if not, if everybody thought the same, how fun would this road be? When about, oh yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, that's the same shit I was thinking. So it'll just be a boring talk show because you're hearing the same shit over and over. But at the end of the day, thank y'all for watching. And Logan, we're going to end the podcast like we always do with a nice little, you know, prayer for everybody who needs it. So let's just bow our little heads and, you know, close our eyes real quick. So, Lord, we just come to you today and just wanted to thank you for the number one thing, and that's just letting us wake up and live another day. That's assuming that you got a purpose for us, and we get to live that purpose for you every single day, Lord. Thank you for everything, Lord, that you give us to make a living. You give us a job. You give us a car to use. You give us a phone to use. You give us a house to live in, a bed to sleep in, clothes and shoes to wear, food and drink to have as well to survive, Lord. We're so grateful for everything. Also, I just want to thank you for this amazing family that you bless us with. You know, the Who Dat Nation and anybody, you know, from the YouTube side and Twitter side. Just, you know, thank you for all supporting us, and, you know, thank you for putting us all together as a group of family, and we all get to call ourselves the Who Dat Nation, man. We just love it, being together, Lord. Also, we want you to put your hands over those, Lords, who need your help, whether they need you financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever the case may be, Lord. Just put your hands over those people and, you know, show them that they got a brighter path and a brighter future ahead of them, Lord. Just show them that for us as well. Also, if you don't mind healing those who need you, Lord, whether they're sick or whatever. Like my dad's got COVID, so heal him as much as you can, and keep anybody safe around. And thank you for our family and our friends, Lord. We're just so grateful. But with that being said, Lord, we love you. We're so grateful for everything. And thanks again for just letting us wake up and live another day, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. So, shout out to all of y'all. Amen to that. Amen to that, y'all. Love y'all. And, like we always tell everybody, Logan, we'll see you next time on the live. And what?
Before we go, I just want to say condolences to the Osborne family. We lost an absolute icon today, right after the Tyrann news. So, shout out to him for giving us all the great music. Crazy Train. I'm sure everyone knows Crazy Train. Just all the great songs. Thanks for the music. So, RIP to him. I know he's rocking in heaven right now. So, RIP to him. So, Now we get in the show on that.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace to him, and who dat to everybody. And we'll see y'all next time, baby.
Run it up, Finero. Say what they lie. Say what they lie. Say what they lie. Say what they lie. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. We going to the bowl. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. We screaming black and gold. Saints going to the Super Bowl, talking black and gold. Young Nolan Hoodie Jew wanna beat me like you know. Chris Alive, MT down the field.